Dingle was here, and Haley Stevens, Rashida, Hillary, and of course, Bree, and to each and every one of you. Let me first thank the men and women of law enforcement who helped keep everyone safe at the White House Correspondents' Dinner yesterday. And I want to thank the men and women of law enforcement who are helping to keep all of us safe at the Detroit NCAACP dinner here today. Political violence is never the answer. Here in America, we should be able to agree to disagree without ever being disagreeable with each other. At the same time, I can assure you that we will continue to speak truth to power at all times as we navigate our way through the trials, the turbulence, and the tribulations of this moment. I want to congratulate all of the honorees, including Ruby Bridges, who at 6 years old showed such tremendous courage to integrate the public school system down in Louisiana. Is that type of courage that all of us need to summon right now. Now, as Dr. Anthony knows, I'm not a preacher, I'm a public servant. But as he indicated, I also grew up in the Cornerstone Baptist Church. So I'm not allergic to the word amen. In fact, let me let you in on a little secret. Throughout my remarks, the more amens that I hear, the faster I'll be. Heard a lot of amens already. I want to speak for just a few moments under the theme, a setback is nothing more than a setup for a comeback. Setback is nothing more than a setup for a comeback. In 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, that's 2 Corinthians, not 2 Corinthians. Mr. President, if you're going to sell the Bible, you should know the Bible. In 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, 8th verse, the Apostle Paul writes, "We are troubled on every side, but not distressed, perplexed, but never in despair." Certainly is the case that we've got trouble all around us. An administration that promised that they would lower costs on day one. But costs haven't gone down. Here in the United States of America, costs have gone up. Life has become more expensive since January of 2025. We have an administration that promised that they weren't going to start wars in the Middle East, they were going to stop it, and then turned around and plunged us into a reckless war of choice in the Middle East. More than a dozen service members who have lost their lives, hundreds injured, billions of your taxpayer dollars being wasted. We have a president and an administration who promised that they were going to love and cherish Medicaid, and then turned around and embraced the largest cut to Medicaid in American history, ripping health care away from more than 14 million Americans. Trouble all around us. But we're not distressed because we serve a good God. And He's given us the tools to make a way out of no way. That's what the NCAACP journey has been all about. And one of the ways in which we're able to do that as a community, as a people, is through the power of imagination. You know, when I first became House Democratic leader back in January of 2023, a few days after officially obtaining the title, I went back home to Brooklyn and I ran into a constituent on Fulton Street. And he called me over and said to me, "Congressman, aren't you the guy who a few years ago on the floor of the United States Senate during the impeachment trial quoted the notorious B.I.G.?" I said, "Yes, sir, that was me." And then he said, "And now, as I'm to understand it, you're the House Democratic leader, the highest ranking Democrat in the United States Congress?" I said, "God is good." And then without missing a beat, he looked at me and said, "How the hell did that happen?" I had to think quickly, and then it came to me. I just looked at him and I responded, "Well, you never thought that hip-hop would take it this far." That's the power of imagination. You see, one of our superpowers is that through it all, our community has always had the ability to imagine a better future here in America and then work hard to bring it about. The power of imagination. Frederick Douglass had imagination. Harriet Tubman had imagination. Sojourner Truth had imagination. Rosa Parks had imagination. Dr. King had imagination. John Lewis had imagination. Fannie Lou Hamer had imagination. Shirley Chisholm had imagination. Roy Wilkins had imagination. Ruby Bridges had imagination. It's the power of imagination. Imagine a better future and then work hard to bring it about. That's what the NCAACP journey has been all about, through all of the trials and turbulence and tribulation. And if you think about it, where we've been to where we need to go, we had to fight for our emancipation and then battle through Jim Crow segregation and then deal with the consequences and adversity of mass incarceration. Thrown everything they had at us, but we're still here. Imagine a better future and then work hard to bring it about. It's that power of imagination, of course, that has allowed us to go from the outhouse to the White House. Thank you, President Barack Obama, for 8 years of brilliant style and substance. No corruption, no convictions, no indictments, no scandals, just 8 years of brilliance, style, resilience, and substance. It's that power of imagination that has allowed us to go from the outhouse to the people's house. Thank you, Congressional Black Caucus, which started more than 50 years ago. 12 men, including John Conyers from right here in Motown. And 1 woman, Shirley Chisholm. And now, the Congressional Black Caucus from that beginning has more than 60 members strong, a majority of whom are black women, more black women serving in the United States Congress than at any other point in time in American history. Power of imagination. It allows us to go from the outhouse all the way to the courthouse. Thank you, Thurgood Marshall. And thank you, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Y'all know I can't mention that other one. But thank you, Ketanji Brown Jackson, for your brilliance and for your vote. And so together, through all of what we have to deal with, the extremism that's being jammed down the throats of the American people, it certainly is the case that we too should be able to imagine a better future and then work hard to bring it about. Together, let's fight racism. Together, let's fight anti-Semitism. Together, let's fight sexism. Together, let's fight xenophobia. Together, let's fight homophobia. Together, let's fight Islamophobia. Together, let's fight anti-Asian hate. Together, let's crush bigotry whenever and wherever it is found and make this country the best version of herself. Now, the NCAACP has always believed that in this country, our diversity is a strength. It is not a weakness. We are a gorgeous mosaic of people who have come to this country from all over the world, some voluntary and others involuntary. But as John Lewis would often say to us, we may have come over on different ships, but we all in the same boat now. We are white, we are black, we are Latino, we are Asian, we are Native American. We are Christian, we are Jewish, we are Muslim, we are Hindu, we are religious, we are secular, we are gay, we are straight, we are young, we are older, we are women, we are men, we are citizens, we are dreamers. Out of many, we are one. That's what makes America a great country, and no matter what kind of xenophobic behavior is coming from the other side of the aisle, we're not going to let anyone take that away from us. Not now, not ever. We are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And so we stand at a crossroads. We want to move the country forward. They want to turn back the clock. We're fighting hard to bring people together. The other side, they're doing everything they can to tear us apart. We believe in truth and reconciliation. Many folks on the other side believe that their shamelessness is a superpower. But we're not here to step back. We're here to push back at all times and ensure that this country will have a free and fair election in November. And after that happens, when the gavels change hands, one of the first things that we will do is ensure that we pass the John Robert Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act so we can end the era of voter suppression in the United States of America once and for all. And so, as I prepare to close, let me say that with all the challenges we've got in this country, we as House Democrats, we do believe that when you work hard in America, when you play by the rules, you should be able to live a comfortable life, an affordable life, and live the good life. Not too much to ask for in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. Work hard, play by the rules, and live the good life. Good paying job, good housing, good health care, good education for your children. And when it's all said and done, a good retirement, which means we gotta make sure that these extremists keep their hands off your Social Security and your Medicare at all times. Work hard. Play by the rules. And live the good life. Now, it was definitively the case that 2024 was a setback for so many people all across the country. But I'm reminded of the story of a young man who went to college in the late 1940s, early 1950s, graduated from a historically black college in the South, came from a prominent family. His father was a big-time Baptist preacher. And after he graduated from college, he decided to go pursue a doctorate of theology at a major university in the Northeast. And upon completing his theology studies, it was expected that he would be able to secure a pastorship at a major church somewhere in the South. And it just so happened that there was an opening at the First Baptist Church of Chattanooga in Tennessee. And so this young man went down to the church and he delivered his trial sermon. And by all accounts, it went well. A few weeks after that, he got a call from a member of the pastoral search committee. He said that, well, you gave a great sermon. We think you're going to make a fine preacher, but just not at our church. And this young man was disappointed, devastated there, disillusioned, unsure about what would come next. He had also happened to apply for a pastorship at a small little church in Montgomery, Alabama. And the church called him up and they offered him the chance to serve as the lead pastor. Now his father didn't necessarily want this young man to accept the position because the church had a reputation for chewing up young pastors and tossing them aside. His wife was a little concerned about this young man accepting the pastorship there because he didn't necessarily want to raise her young family with her young children in the heart of the Jim Crow South. But this young man, his name is Martin Luther King Jr., decided to trust God, and he accepted the pastorship at the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. Now watch this. Had Martin Luther King Jr. been given the pastorship at the First Baptist Church of Chattanooga, then he never would have accepted the pastorship at the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. Had he never accepted the pastorship at the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, then he never would have been in Montgomery, Alabama. Had he never been in Montgomery, Alabama, he never would have been there when Rosa Parks sat down so that everybody else could stand up. Had he never been there when Rosa Parks sat down, then he never would have led the Montgomery bus boycott. Had he never led the Montgomery bus boycott, then he never would have emerged as a national civil rights leader. Had he never emerged as a national civil rights leader, he never would have been invited to speak at the March on Washington. Had he never been invited to speak at the March on Washington, then he could have never convinced the president to sign the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Had he never convinced the president to sign the 1964 Civil Rights Act, we would have never got to the 1965 Voting Rights Act, and God knows where we would be right now. The Lord works in mysterious ways. And sometimes when one door closes, it simply means that another door is about to open, and that's the door that we're supposed to walk through. A setback is nothing more than a setup for a comeback. 2024 was definitively a setback. But are y'all ready for the great American comeback in 2026? And so we just got to get the right. To show up and stand up and speak up for what we know is right. To display the same courage and character and conviction that those civil rights heroes and foot soldiers, that the founders of the NCAACP and those who have charted this course here in Detroit have shown. My parting word to you here at Detroit, the NCAACP Freedom Fund dinner, is that we've got to simply press on. Press on. Press on. We got to press on for our children, press on for our seniors, press on for our unions, press on for our veterans, press on for our dreamers, press on for working families, press on for middle-class folks, press on for the poor, press on for the sick, press on for the afflicted, press on for the least, press on for the lost, press on for the left behind, press on for civil rights, press on for voting rights, press on for racial justice, press on for social justice, press on for economic justice, press on for freedom, press on for democracy. We've got to press on until victory is won. God bless you. God bless the Detroit NCAACP, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.